Hello, good people. I'm here with my first real video after my channel trailer, and I thought to start, I would do a fun one. This is one thing that I've just been mulling over in my head for a while that I like to call the Alcohol Misery Index. Why make something like this? I thought it'd be a fun thing to do for the video, but I also think it's actually a pretty good way, if you're a young person going out every once in a while to kind of, before you start drinking, if you pay attention to what the people around you are saying, you get a pretty good sense of what their intentions are for the night and how that means they're doing. You can kind of predict it with just paying attention to a couple phrases. So here is our first just blank slide that lets us show the organization. So we have the y-axis, which goes from level of drunkenness. So it's completely sober all the way to blackout drunk. And then there's also the x-axis, which is seek therapy to Buddha levels, telling us how happy this person actually is. All right, first quote. Can my significant other come? And this is somebody who is, they're drinking a little bit and they're doing all right. They're probably in a new-ish relationship if they're asking and everyone, it might originally be a guys night, girls night, or everything, but they want to bring the person they're seeing. And usually, unless it's a really fun couple, God bless y'all, they're not going to be actually be getting that drunk. Usually, especially girlfriends tend to not want to see their boyfriends get way too drunk. All right. After that, in soberer, while still at that same level of happiness, is all drive. And if somebody says this, they're taking one for the team, being a good guy, volunteering to actually just drive everyone to where they're going. You need someone like this. They maybe drank too much, maybe they're just not in the mood, but they still want to hang out, appreciate this person, and they're doing all right. Now there's let's have a couple. These are awesome times, like something like a fire pit, just going to a really chill, quiet, like dive bar, pub that you like, something like that. You love a night that starts with let's have a couple. And we have our first image for Buddha sober, and that is the dad beers. I'm using this picture of Homer Simpson to represent it. As I've gotten older, really not that old yet, but I'm beginning to understand the potency of just having like one drink before I go to bed is pretty great. Um, it's just like melatonin, pretty much. It just has such powerful way of relaxing you that is really great. Doesn't mean every dad who does this or anything is doing like pristine mental health, but it's a real like sense of security and just a simple joy that I really like. Now going into our next quadrant is on the soberer side, but bad vibes. And the first, which is opposed to all drive, is I can't believe I got to drive. A lot of times, certain events just need a driver, and maybe you didn't open the group chat up soon enough or something. Maybe you just kind of drew straws and got unlucky, but you are a designated driver against your will. I found that means usually not like being a problem or anything most of the time. Going to be drinking a little bit more than the all drive person while also not being as happy about it. And going back to the unhappy sober, we have another picture. This is the stand in for a work happy hour event. It's if you have a fun workplace, this can be pretty great. But for most people, it's just extra hours. Maybe there's an open bar or something, but you really can't take advantage of it because you're in a bit of a panopticon. Even the chill coworkers might be ratting you out, things like that. Bosses could be there. It can be kind of a stressful experience that doesn't actually result in that much drinking, and it's usually, if not outright mandatory, implied to be mandatory. Next, we have the 1,000 yard stare, or just somebody who's really, really quiet at an event. It could be because they don't know anyone, or they're just going through something and trying to put on a brave face, but really just not their talkative self. Uh, Check in on this person, please. Do what you can to get them involved, introduce them to people they might not know, have a better time. Um, and now going to my least favorite person on this graph. I'm afraid. Usually, it's I'm afraid of girls. I'm afraid of guys. Somebody who's just really antisocial about it. There a lot of foot dragging and social anxiety. Often not their fault. They deserve to have a good time too, but it's never that fun to be around with. They never drink that much, um, and are just always looking to leave. Not a great time. Wish them the best. All right, now going up to the quadrant, which is unhappy but also pretty drunk. We got I forgot to eat. This does not mean you're like a necessarily like mentally ill person. It happened a ton like, in college to myself and my friends, and it never really amounts to that good of a night because either you're gonna get way too drunk, or it's constantly going to be in the back of your mind, and you're going to have to be curbing your own behavior, and it doesn't feel very good at all. It kind of just makes you physically miserable in my experience. A lot of people are fine with it, but it's really bad for you, and your body's not afraid to tell you that. After that is I'm gonna black out, and what's important to note here is it's I'm gonna black out. It's a little selfish almost, and as a result, those are the nights where you're often really regretting it, like you're kind of being a problem, things like that. Watch out for somebody saying I'm gonna black out. Selfish. Oh, I got accidentally loaded into here. We have we'll start with I miss them. So that's usually somebody going through a breakup, not necessarily going to get the drunkest. Some people do, but really going through it. Not a fun drunk. Passes with time. It'll be fun. It'll be fun again. They'll feel better. Look out for these people. Um, Wingman or wingwoman if you think it's time for that, or just be there, give them somebody to talk to. And then above that, in the top left corner of blackout and in need of therapy, people that are always getting into fights. As you can see from the image, they're not do so well in it. Um, these people, especially in men, like a lot of guys, I don't know, like 15 and up, don't really cry in front of other people, but they do this. They get into fights. So always watch out for that guy and know that's really what it means a lot of the time, is it is just an emotional outlet and a cry for help, and also not very fun to be around at all because you either got to break up a fight or join a fight usually. So not a fan. And now going into the best corner, pretty drunk and also mentally doing really well. Here is golf as a stand-in for just drinking in any activity that's like really conducive to drinking. Golf is a really popular one. I'm trying to get into it for my job. I'm a pretty bad golfer, but I have friends that will go and drink a good amount. Probably if they're getting breathalyzed on this golf cart, they're not making it through. But they love it. They have a great time. I like to fish sometimes. That's another hobby I would put in this. And of course, like there's things like bowling. It's really a whole industry at this point. And it's a pretty good time. It can be expensive, but when you actually get out to a real drinking with an activity that is tailored to drinking, it's pretty great. Next, we have Let's All Blackout. Notice how this is right next to I'm Gonna Blackout. And it it really means something completely different. It's so much more positive, and it's going to lead to a lot of a better night. It's really an admission of acceptance to the group. Like a lot of people really judge each other for drinking too much and everything like that, and sometimes that's found in a lot of good things. But to say, hey, we all work so hard, let's all have a great night, let's all get really drunk, and we as a group will deal with the consequences tomorrow. That is the sign of what's going to be a really good night, in my experience, even if everybody doesn't actually end up blacking out. I mean, a lot of the time most won't, but it comes with a real freedom, I think. Now over to drunk, medium drunk, and Buddha vibes. We have this wedding has an open bar. Um, that's an awesome feeling. You're already really happy for the bride and groom. Usually, you're with a lot of people you maybe haven't seen in a long time, whether that be family or friends, and you just find out you get to drink basically for free, unless you're like the father of the bride, you know. And it's a really exciting thing, especially these open bars usually have very nice drinks at them that you wouldn't always be ordering at a bar. So it is just so much a Disneyland experience. Um, and finally, without further ado, the very drunk and also very happy, we have the real celebration. I believe this is the 2016 Cavaliers. I use as a picture. Just getting so drunk because you have unequivocally earned it. Look at how J.R. Smith was that year. Didn't put his shirt on for like a month after he was off that Henny. Um, you gotta love this period. It really does not come very often. It could be in the life of a regular person a really great exam score, graduation, promotion at a job, and especially if you have a lot of people to share that with, it's even better. Whether that be a team accomplishment or people who are just on your team and looking to celebrate it with you like it was their accomplishment in themselves. That really is one of the best feelings there is. So, thank you very much. Probably going to be a much more serious video next time. I just thought this was a fun thing that was kind of sticking around my head. Uh, Hope you enjoyed. Bye.